Well, hello, everyone. I have forgotten, I've just realized I've forgotten to focus my camera. Give me another 30 or so seconds. Doesn't take 30 seconds to focus my camera, but it does take about 30 seconds for the focus zoom in to go away. And that is truly the most important part. Now then, welcome to Friday, and this very brief campaign prep stream. We have a game tomorrow. We have not filled out our usual weekly campaign sheet. Thus, here we are to do so in rapid fashion. I don't have a whole lot to do, so we're gonna just kind of like, I'm gonna do the recap, of course, and then we're gonna hammer through the prep sheet, as I said. And after that, gonna rate a friend. That's it. That's all there is, really. I have tomorrow mostly all set. So yeah, you have this brief pajama-laden recap and prep stream. So we're gonna kind of just jump right into it. I think I don't have a lot of babble to do. I played the WoW expansion early access yesterday. That was pretty fun. So I'm gonna hop on that and maybe finish up leveling. Maybe finish up the campaign tonight. Start working on a second character, perhaps. Or maybe I'll just play Path of Exile after that. I have a little bit torn between the two games right now. I want to make sure I have enough gold in Path of Exile to keep the town there, King's March, I think, running. It's the league mechanic of this season for Path of Exile, is this kind of like town management deal. And you need gold to pay your workers, so you need to like grind up gold. And it only takes me like an hour to grind up enough gold to run them for like a day at the moment, because I don't have everything fully upgraded. But I do need to get on and do that at some point, and maybe make some sales. I have some good items up for sale at the moment in Path of Exile, so we'll see how that goes. So, other than that, I truly have no babble, really. We finished up Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Wednesday, so we will not, in fact, be playing that tomorrow after the session. So, with all the housekeeping out of the way, we're just going to jump right in, I say, realizing that Obsidian is not opened up at present. The other thing is that I'm definitely going to have to get up and let my dog in at some point. He is presently outside. He did the classic, no, let me outside right now, please. Right now, before you start the stream, please, outside, please. And so he is presently outside, and I'm going to eventually hear him grumble, and I will have to run upstairs and let him back in. We're going to try to get through the recap before that happens. So at the beginning of the last session, how to quickly summarize. The party had gone back to the Drow City, the capital of Kalmacourt, trying to gather their allies once again, scrambling to rescue kind of all of the folks that they'd sent into town on various tasks, a couple of people that they knew were there, wanted to make sure everyone got out okay. So they scrambled back into the city with that in mind after the Seraph had arrived, this enemy from beyond the stars, who was coming to the short version, coming to mess things up, trying to get some revenge on the former gods of this world that the party is on, that the monsters are on. But that the world has sealed away, having a bit of a disagreement with those gods. But the Seraph is here to awaken them and then kill them. So the Seraph has arrived. He is making... No phone. He is making Kalmacourt and Sarosa and this kingdom of Montecalana his base of operations for this endeavor. He has sown the seeds to make this nation kind of pliable to his arrival and his influence. So this is where he arrives. So the party entered Kalmakor, as I said, and noticed that this drow city they'd been here once before, and had mostly a drow population. Several other groups of people. There were various kind of more monstrous ancestries walking around. This time, they snuck back in through some smuggling tunnels that they found to escape the city during a siege a couple days prior. They found that the city was, in fact, absolutely crawling with humans, with Sarosan humans from the surface who had come down under the guise of helping them with this siege, and have then, after the siege was broken, taken over the city and kind of thrown their influence around to make the city and the populace and the queen more susceptible to the influence of the unseen seraph who has arrived. So, this last session, the party realized that there were all these humans around. They took to an inn first, where they had their allies waiting. They wanted to make sure that their allies got out before they did anything else, so they spent an hour opening a portal for them to get back to Turris's tower. Turris is a dungeon, so his avatar drew a door back to the tower that is his dungeon. It's very confusing. It's a Battle Zoo Bestiary, not Battle Zoo Bestiary, but what do they call it? Roll for Combat. It's a Roll for Combat book. A fairly excellent and fun one. Anyway, so Turris used his ability as a dungeon to open a portal to his dungeon to let their allies escape. The henchmen, kind of militarily capable duo of Katota and Nahia, and Neria also, a NPC they haven't spoken to in quite some time in terms of our real world time, but a week ago had sent them on this journey to begin with to look for her friend Luca. They sent a dream to Neria to come meet them down in Kalmakort, and Neria followed this dream cautiously, as dreams currently are not very trustworthy in this world, but followed them nonetheless, kind of like watched the inn that she was supposed to enter until she saw that the party, the monsters, entered, and she followed them in. Effectively said, thank goodness it's you guys, and not, the dream wasn't some kind of weird trick. So, party opened the door, sent all those three through, and then decided what they wanted to do. There was this speech from the queen as they were approaching the inn, saying effectively, I know that the last day has been difficult, but I ask you to remain calm, yada yada. For now, hold your peace, eat merrily, which the party picked up on as being kind of weird. Kind of a weird thing to say, not really understanding what that meant, how that was relevant. So they did some history checks, some society checks, and they know that eat merrily was actually kind of a historical drow phrase that was used in some prior time of conflict to effectively mean like, eat well for we strike soon, in short. So they knew, and all the drow knew, pretty much all the drow knew, but none of the humans who weren't familiar with this culture knew that not all was well, and that the queen was saying like, bide your time, bite your tongue for now, and we will have our moment. That is what the queen was saying, and the party figured that out. Party also found out that Farley took this artifact, the thief who they fetched a book from before containing some information on old gods. Farley also absconded with an artifact of related origin. So yeah. Side story thing there. That's the B plot or the C plot to this episode, but it's worth mentioning. It will come back up in a future episode, I'm sure. So, from there, my notes are useless because they went a whole different direction than what I thought. Excuse me. So, from there the party splits up. They know that the queen is not actually working with the Sarosans or the Seraph. They kind of know that the innkeeper that they were talking to, they kind of like said the same thing to him, and he said like, indeed, and was treating them much better after that. So this innkeeper seems to be on the up and up. So they sent about half the party to go talk to this guard captain that they spoke to before, while tourists split off to sow some rumors about how the Seraph is actually quite evil and not here to help anyone, particularly sowing these rumors among the humans. And then the scene of Akshin, our bard, went off to run a performance up in kind of a fancier part of town to try to make a connection, and that worked out. We'll get to those things, but first, the main party's endeavors to go find this guard captain. They went to the wall. They found out that the guard captain and truly most of the native guards had been suspended briefly for the time being, have been sent home. So couldn't find the guard captain there, but they did find a drow guard responsible for kind of keeping the logs and doing the paperwork. The humans were like, it's fine for this guy to stay around. It's fine. We don't want to do this paperwork. We don't want to, that's truly none of our business. Oh, good. My tired, weary body is hijacking this recap. So, the drow guard, the drow logsman, approached the party after they tried to speak to the human guard captain to find out the whereabouts of the previous guard captain. They made up a name like Nighthammer or something. So this log keeper approached the party and said, "You're the ones who were here a couple of days ago. You're not with the human. You're not with the humans at all. You have a very varied group with a mimic and a minotaur and a steno and all these things. An evil eye. I think you're probably not with the humans. I think I can probably take you to the guard captain." So they went to this wine store. The log keeper said, "I would like to sample your selection." And the wine proprietor said, "Yes, of course," and moved a shelf out of the way, revealed a secret staircase down below where the guardsman, the head guard, the guard captain, there's the word, was there with a couple of other compatriots with a map of the city and a couple of like tokens placed around to kind of keep track of the locations of various things. And they spoke to him. They found out his name is Bakai the Pious. Says they are waiting for their chance for the humans to kind of thin out, maybe leave the city even, like waiting for the humans to grow some trust in the queen and that the queen is on their side. And then when they leave, goodness, that is when the drought will strike. So that is the plan as it stands. Meanwhile, Turris goes about sowing rumors between all of the human soldiers he can find, telling them about the Ritualics manipulating people through their dreams, the Seraph maybe having some kind of power over dreams or something, and being able to use that to his advantage, and he's blinding the leaders by manipulating them, and he succeeds at sowing these rumors. However, going up to one of the sets of guards, he is shown a picture of King Ferron, who is the Drow King that they met on like session 3 or 4. They were being held by some elementals along with some foreign leaders who were in town, trying to investigate these rather serious dreams that were happening, these strange happenings around the Seraphs coming. So he had invited these foreign leaders to come and investigate with him. And these guards were looking for him, saying he is known to have been sharing national secrets with these people, between like records on the Forgotten Gods and the arrival of our new savior, the Seraph. Ferron was up to no good, or Ferron was clearly betraying our country, our fine country, to these foreign leaders. And Turris kind of engaged with this conversation and was like, oh yeah, it's not Ferron. It was a while ago, it was a few days ago, but yeah, we like saved him from some elementals or whatever. And immediately these guards were like, so you were privy to this meeting between Ferron and the foreign leaders that was enabled by these elementals. He was working with the elementals too, and Turris was like, oh yeah. And through a long back and forth, he got arrested, had a private meeting with the commander that he was talking to before, convinced them that he knew roughly nothing, that he was just kind of like a bumbling adventurer idiot that had saved these people from the elementals but really knew nothing else. But he got from that, oh, goodness, excuse me, he got from that the humans had spun a yarn that Ferron was a traitor, that he was working with these like foreign leaders against the country and not like against the Seraph in particular, and just got all this information about that, and that they had a lead on Ferron and were going to track him down right now. That was what prompted the ending of the meeting, was an assistant coming in and saying like, we have a lead. We think we know where he is. And the commander being like, oh shit, all right, it's time to go. And just leaving. Turris tried to convince this commander's like lieutenant that this was all not on the up and up. And that guy was like, look, they throw the word traitor around real easy right now. And I don't want to hear anything you have to say. I want to keep my head, man. So just save it for someone else. And Turris was like, fine, I'm just going to leave a strongly worded note here for the commander, and then we can be off. And the guy was like, whatever, fine. I'm gonna leave the room, fine. And then Turris did write that note, but also quickly went through the drawers, found something of interest. That was a report. One of our secrets and clues, one of our rumors, found a report that some undead have been attacking like devils. Found an interesting report that the undead were apparently fighting some devils and maybe some like moonflowers and such. So he snatched that up to review later, and then he left. And then the party regrouped. Not quite yet, I suppose. The Scene of Auction went and had his concert up in the more affluent part of town. I'm gonna turn the music down just a touch. I apologize if that's too loud. Went to have this concert, performed quite well, made quite a bit of money. However, almost all of it was from one individual. One individual who liked the rebellious tone that this concert was striking and left 10 platinum pieces in the jar to like kind of catch the Seat of Auction's eye. Gosh darn it. And then he went over to basically an alley, walked out of sight after kind of meeting the Scene of Auction's eye. and he just waited there for the rest of the little show, the little concert. Scene of Auction went there to have a discussion, found out that this person, he was like, you seem well connected. Do you have a way to get in touch with the Queen? Do you have a way we can set up a meeting with the Queen? And he said, no. No, that's too dangerous right now. I cannot bring you to meet the Queen, but I can set up a conversation with the Queen if that interests you. And then he also asked about like a way out of the city, and oh no, it was the other group that asked about a way out of the city and found out a place that they could scale the cliffs out of the city safely. So that is kind of their escape plan if they need one. And from this guy, the Scene of Auction got the offer of the conversation with the Queen, and also kind of an open offer of like, we drow, we have to be very careful right now, but if you're gonna make a play, we will happily back it. And if you need to get in contact with me again, here is how to do so. Where was it? Yeah. Said, got some instructions that said, go to this bookstore, go at the Peln and Parchment, and ask for the Flitting Finch. And Seat of Auction was like, all right, great, sounds good. And this conversation with the queen was basically just like, go to this house, go to the basement. It will be handled for you. So they have all of these leads to check out, but they ended the session kind of regrouping, kind of talking about what to do next. And there was some discussion of like, how we could like, could we flip the human army on the king? Could we flip the human army on these commanders? Could we convince them that this is all not working for the Seraph is actually not in their best interest? And the consensus was like, maybe, but they're like pretty brainwashed. They're pretty much following the orders of like the king. All right, let's see. And yeah, so they had all this talk about flipping the army essentially, and the consensus was like, nah, man, I don't think that will give us an advantage. I think that we could succeed at that. It might be good to do, but we have so many other things that I don't think we have time. I don't really think we have time for that endeavor. So they decided that they were going to go and rescue this King Oyer Ferron before he can get in too much trouble, and that is going to be their endeavor for the next session. And that's roughly where we ended. So it was a lot of like side stuff for the most part, but kind of like progressing and figuring out the situation in the city. It was a lot of good fun. I don't really have any complaints about how it went, if I'm being entirely honest. It was a good time. Didn't really have any combat, did have a lot of dice rolling and challenges. Some characters did kind of miss out on that, but it was a very, very roleplay heavy session. And the next one will not be, because they're going out. They split up into two groups of three who are going to follow the humans to wherever they're ambushing Oyer Ferron, and then three who are going to, they found out from their companion envoy, who has stayed with them, that that they were staying in this manor, essentially, owned by the, or something owned by the queen, maybe? I don't know, commissioned by the queen. They were staying in some manor in the fancy part of town. So 3 are heading straight there, 3 are following the human guards if they can find them. Good thing today is a short stream. Good lord. I did not yawn once before I got on stream, and now I'm dying. Okay. So, all of that said, I guess the very last stinger that I gave was that there was this, as discussed earlier, Turris is a dungeon, is a tower completely somewhere else. They can normally sense kind of when someone arrives at the tower, but one person was able to arrive and leave without them sensing it, and it was this person that one of the henchmen at the tower, this earth elemental that they'd befriended, described this person as being largely human, maybe a little bit tall, with these snake-like serpentine eyes. And Turris has been very concerned about this. Turris has thought maybe it's another dungeon, or maybe it's a Naga, maybe... They don't know what to think. They don't know what to think so far. And they've been waiting for a chance to engage with this person. And as the very last thing, I was like, this time, you sense this familiar presence arriving at the tower. As you're going out to handle this ambush. And so he's like, oh, darn it. Oh, man. So he kind of doesn't really have a choice of what he does next, but he now has a great desire to return to the tower and see what this person wants. See why this person is there, who they are, solve this mystery. It's a dire need for tourists. So that is where we ended. That is where we ended. And we are picking up next time, figuring out kind of how this ambush of King Ferron goes, how this plays out as the party tries to go and save him. So, as usual, we are going to start up a new session sheet. We're going to work through that. Yep, 24th, that makes sense. So, here we like to fill out this is kind of a stripped down version of the Lazy GM's prep sheet. We kind of like have a couple of scenes worked out that might happen. And, you know, we go through, we set up secrets and clues, and then I have my notes at the bottom. It's not like too complex, really. I skip some steps of the Lazy GM's 10 steps, 8 steps, how many ever it is. I really, truly only do like 2 of them. I kind of combine a couple. Like in working out the scenes, I kind of also work out the fantastic locations, if there are any. I run a lot of very people-centric games, so there's not always a very fantastic location. And then I work out like the likely enemies from the scenes as well, and the secrets and clues. Separately, I work out the secrets and clues, I should say. So, we want this scene. The execution of the Dwarf King, which may not in fact be an execution with how this has been angled. This isn't like they've pretty proactively been like, we want to go find the king. We want to go find and save the king. I can't type today. So we probably won't just call it an execution. We won't force like an on-screen execution. We're going to let them see that this is happening. And perhaps get involved if they want. So, open on, I don't even know how we're gonna open this. Open on the monsters splitting up. And I am curious exactly what they're going to... Curious exactly how this will all go. So, on the one hand, we have the Isha group. And on the other hand, we have the tourist group. So... first they have to find Sarosan soldiers to follow. Then follow them? I don't really know how that's gonna go. That's gonna be a lot of skill checks. We're gonna be rolling, you know, like some kind of like survival checks to like find some boot tracks, and then like we're gonna follow them, and then they're gonna roll some like stealth checks to track while being quiet and hidden. So it's gonna be a whole thing. So then most of this other stuff with the execution of the Dwarf King, this can work out. Basically how it does here, we have the Sarosan King, Izan Salma. There is the bad dwarf king, the shield plant, Loophole Mikleo. And they're going to kind of like read off the list of crimes, whether they are like sieging this manor or surrounding Oyer Ferron or what have you. The big surprise is still that Augustine is alive and like seems to be kind of guiding or instructing the king, kind of acting as an advisor of sorts at the moment. Still looking very like sickly and unwell after his return from the dead. So there is that scene. I don't know that we have a back at the pools at the moment. It doesn't sound like they're maybe headed that way. They aren't going to go to the high tower. They already know kind of what's going on there. They're probably not going to go to the pools in Keon's prison. It sounds like, but we'll see. I'll probably type up this little speech a little bit more, or maybe less. I'll just turn it into like tighter bullet points, perhaps. Another scene that might happen. Hello, Aki. Hope it's going well. Haven't had a chance to stop by and chat in a while. Just got home from work. Welcome, welcome. No problem at all. I hope work went well. Yeah, we're just slapping together some GM prep. It's probably we're gonna wrap up pretty quick, honestly. I know the stream hasn't been going very long, but I forgot the hand backslash thing. Well, I can see it. I can see it in shadow over here. Anyway. I forgot all about the like reversed backslash thing. Oh man, the big other scene. One possible other scene is just like soldiers hunting down the monsters after they escape with the king. If they go back to the inn, we'll say King Ferron. If they go back to the inn, I have a whole thing. I got on stream and I just started fucking yawning as soon as I got on stream. I was fine before, but now that I'm sitting here talking, I'm yawning. My voice is getting tired really fast. It's like scratchy already. So, I'm glad it's not a long stream. We're gonna raid my buddy Lunchbox in a little bit. He, I think, is having he's coming back to streaming a little bit, and he's having a test stream in a little bit, or now, and I'm gonna try to raid over there pretty quick and say hello. So so we're not long for the stream today. So that's just a possible scene. I don't have a lot of notes for it. Just wherever they go, soldiers are going to be trying to chase them and hunt them down. If they like hunker down in a building in town, then there's going to be kind of a scene where they like hear them coming down the street, hear them knocking on doors, asking to like check out houses, and they'll eventually get to, before Terrace can finish the portal back to his dungeon, the soldiers are going to get there and potentially interrupt a little bit. So that'll be a fun, tense scene, I think, if it comes to that. But they might go to their escape point and shimmy down the cliff wall. They might. I don't know. We'll see. So there's that. Back at the tower, though, if they do get back to the tower, Visitia Persophius is waiting. Visitia is the presence that Turris felt entering the premises of the dungeon and the tower. She's not actually in the tower, but she is a Naga? There's a whole lot of background lore to explain who she is, but she is also the person who Isha contacted several sessions ago being like, hey, where are the towers that these people are destroying that's like weakening kind of our dimensional defenses of the world? What's the deal with that? And Visicia was like, I have hidden one. 2 of the ones that are broken are in the Valley March. So those are the one I've hidden. So, Visicia will be waiting. Visicia will be waiting, and it will be unrelated to Isha, which will maybe be the surprise to Isha. It will turn out that Visicia is the one who used to own this tower that they've been staying in that is literally Turris's body. So yeah, it will raise some questions about how Turris came into existence. It will raise and answer some of those questions. So 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 a woman with long brown hair is waiting at the tower. The next thing you notice are piercing blue snake eyes, serpent eyes. We'll say snake eyes. The next thing after that is the whirring blade. The whirring blade of force. Blink if you got into the PoE 2 beta. I did not. So the whirring blade of force in her hand. Raising and pointing at Turris. You saw they announced the date? Yes. November 15th or something? I'm very excited. Very, very excited. That I think I'll get into. They haven't like sent out invites for that, but I think I'm above the spending threshold to get into it. So there's that. I've bought many supporter packs and I have gotten a sweatshirt from them. So I think that qualifies me. So yeah. When Turris enters, she'll say something along the lines of, thought I would have to interrogate all of you. To find the one who tampered with my tower. But this issue will say I can already basically look at Turris and be like, I can already smell that it is your mana that is entwined with the tower. So, there will be a bit of back and forth here, I am sure. Definitely want more stash tabs, but the more I get, the less I want to interact with inventory management, so the less I want to get them. The special tabs are all delightful to me. I love them all pretty much. But having an excess of other tabs is can be rough. I think I've shown you my tab organization where I have like, I don't know. I have like one. Oh, I gotta let my dog in real quick. Be right. I'm back. And yeah, tattoos don't have a tab. Omens don't have a tab. Tomes and runes, and scouting missions. Yeah, those don't have special tabs. Although this league, I was able to throw the runes and scouting missions just like in the currencies tab into like 10 slots at the bottom. And then I have another tab where I throw all of the other stuff, where it's just like tattoos and omens and like rogue gear from the Rogue Harbor. One scout mission doesn't fit. Yeah, if you get power runes anyway. True. I have mostly been selling my power runes. but that is true. I did run out of space with scouting missions. Like, especially if you get all of the ones that are, like, diversifying the different types. If you're getting, like... there's a lot of different scouting missions you can get. Depending on which things you have talented. And I have many of those talented on my main farming strategy right now. So let's see. There's, like, a lot of potential conversations that Vicitia could have. And I think I'm more... the one thing I want here is, like... when Turris explains... I don't even need to write this down. But when Turris explains that he doesn't know how he came to be, that he is the tower, etc., then Vicitia will respond with... how novel. This is a line that Turris has said many times, which will hint some things. So. Yeah, I think for the most part, after this conversation, I'm down just like winging it, truly. Before she leaves, Vicitia will warn Turris. Let's see. Being the tower of a guardian, given where your soul may have come from, you may be drawn to protect the world. Maybe that's not quite it. Drawn to solve the problems of the world. We do need more of that right now. With the Seraph's arrival. And everything. Basically, Visicia is going to take on... Not like... It will be kind of a matriarchal tone with Turris in a couple... Like, she's not going to be able to help giving him advice, being that she's somewhat responsible for him coming into existence. But she's going to say, always, like, question it. Always ask if that's what you actually want. Essentially. Joe, hush. No, who do you think it is? Yeah. So. That's kind of the one note that will definitely get hit on. I guess, yeah, real quick, let's do the secrets and clues. We don't have much to adjust here. All of these are still fine, but we used number 5 last time. So we need a new secret and or clue. I guess we'll go down the line and we'll see if any of these... I think they're getting out of town, so I think this Rash of Robberies one is not relevant anymore. We could leave it in there, but I sincerely think they're getting out of town. Soon, this Turris' Core one is going to be not relevant. The Insatiable Hunger one is still relevant. One of the Guardian Naga witnessed the Forest Arrival is still relevant. Each Land Guardian was... This is still relevant, but could get stated plainly this session. Yeah, that one's fine. Oh. I'm not going to delete this one yet. The Arcanus' Naga was always especially interested in ley lines that could still come up naturally, I suppose. Have you seen anything on the support gems from PoE 2? I'm kind of spoiling it a bit right now, not intentionally, but once I started, I kept reading. Not really. I'm going to have to close that door tighter, I think. Give me 1 sec. That is only a little bit better. I'm glad I am wrapping up soon. Am I winning? I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes. Yes. We're about to win GM prep. I'm gonna say so. Welcome in line. Let's see. So, Visicia might not come out and say, like, who she is to Turris or anyone else. Isha's kind of gonna know, but we know that Isha doesn't share very freely most of the time. So we'll keep that rumor in. Divine Naga that served the Four, the same as those that referenced as Guardians of the Land. I think that's... A lot of these might just get deleted next time. They're on the cusp of being deleted, but we shouldn't rush to get rid of them. And then the Hand of the Seraph kind of work for the same entity, more or less, the Rotting Mother. I think that's... They keep being like, I think that's still fine, but actually it's more or less known, I guess, but it's... We'll keep it in there. We'll keep it in there for now. Who cares? So I need to come up with 2 more secrets and clues, which is tricky to come up with context-relevant ones, because it seems like they're going to be leaving the city and going who knows where after that. I just actually don't know where they'll end up. So one of them might be like... yeah... Forgotten God of Undeath. Had been working with devils in the past. I hate just seeing my volume jump every time that whatever is going on in the dryer is going on in the dryer. So that's an easy one to throw in there. I remember them reading they wanted support gems to be less about more damage. There's a party in your dryer, yeah. But there's literally one that's just more damage. Hello, Tauros. Thank you for the lurk. Hello, hello. Thank you for stopping by. If you guys don't know.
Protect the squishy. Nobody else needs.
I need to start saying the words before I do the shout out.
Bomb cards in their desk. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna save that.
What bomb cards? Draws a I'd like somebody to pick up. I'd like somebody to pick up that phone because I just called it.
Could somebody please clip that for me?
Several years into streaming, I have just now learned this lesson. Anyway, Tauros is both a wonderful streamer. Plays a lot of like cooperative games, Sea of Thieves, Played Up. Always lots of like good high energy stuff going on there. Frequently with friends, seems like. And also one of the fellow storytellers for the Dead Tales Zomboid RP server. So. Okay, I need to come up. I might just... All right. This dryer has... has mushed me forth, has cracked the whip of finishing up the stream. So I think we're gonna probably call it just about good with the prep. I think we're mostly good. I've got some conversations. There's gonna be like some good kind of high impact conversations between Turris and Visicia. Again, this Naga who quite possibly had a lot to do with how he came to be. And those will be like great conversations. Good to have notes on them. I can't like script them out too tightly, so we're not gonna try. And I am short one rumor, one secret or clue, but I can come up with that on my own. Oh no, Lunchbox is not on. I think he was trying to do a test stream right around now, but it appears that he is not on yet. It does take a while to set up for a stream when you haven't done it in a little while. So So I will go say hi on my own later, I suppose. I'll see who else is on. But yeah. Sorry, this got cut even slightly shorter than I intended, I will admit, but the dryer has has forced my hand somewhat. But we were wrapping up. We were wrapping up anyway. It's pretty quiet. It's pretty quiet right now. It's not that bad anymore, it's just a bit distracting. Yeah. We're pretty much done, like I said. I have to come up with one more secret or clue, which is always like tricky, but yeah. I will come up with it on my own. I don't have to be completionist about it. I don't have a lot of folks on at the moment. So I think I might just wrap up without a raid for once, maybe? Let's see if there's any... I love to raid Pathfinder folks when I can. So let's check if that category has anyone. No results! None! How dare. We can go say hi to a Dungeons and Dragons friend, maybe. I searched the Dungeons and Dragons category and I get like stripping and a bunch of like other folks who are not playing Dungeons and Dragons just at the top in the recommended list. Being hijacked. Okay. Oh, just last night in my own tabletop campaign I told you about, we finished liberating the region we were working on. Very nice. Heck yeah. It's always very nice to hit those kind of goalposts in a campaign, those, you know, those big story beats. That's always very exciting. This guy is doing world building. I'm not gonna lie, I might just go nap after. So, maybe I just will wrap it up without a raid for once. Yeah. Before I thought it was Joe playing with a clothes hanger. That's funny. It's only one region, of course. Yeah, not done with the campaign. It's just like just one big achievement in the line of progress. Yeah. I think that's fine. I think I'm fine wrapping up without a raid. So. Yeah, nap is very good. I'm very excited for it. Going to go eat? Maybe actually play PoE instead of Path of Building. My mana went from like 50 to 160, Jesus. With the efficiency increases, that's pretty rad. That's pretty great. Okay. Sag that. I'm probably missing Lunchbox by like 5 minutes. But that's all right. I will say hi for everyone. I'll say, well, I won't say I was gonna raid. I'll say hi. I'll go say hi. That'll be good. If you guys want to go give Mr. Lunchbox a follow. I only say it like that because we have secret Lunchbox and then we have Lunchbox. Box. You know. I need to over enunciate because I can't differentiate the two otherwise.
Okay, love balloons. I love balloons. Wait, is there more? Is there more?
Lunchbox is great.
Sparkles?
Another D&D friend. Incredible storyteller and frankly, fingers crossed that I end up in one of his campaigns soon. We were talking about it a while ago, and I would still love that. So, he just glittered around. Confused for like a split sec when you said back to streaming, but I remembered right away. Yeah. So, if you want to follow me in spirit, if you want to raid with me when I go say hi in whenever Lunchbox gets on, just click that link. Give Lunchbox a follow. It's like a much better GM on the performative side than I am, and it's always delightful to watch and delightful to be a part of. Certain GMs just kind of like hit that kind of like, I don't know, that nice some kind of discovery feeling that like always gives me these tingles when I'm playing D&D. I don't know if I ever give other people that. The D&D ASMR. Hard for me to tell if other people get that effect when I'm describing scenes or setting up situations for them. But like every session, Lunchbox was hit me with that with something. So either we have very good chemistry as GM and player, or he's incredible. So, doing yourself a favor, giving him a follow. With all of that said, thank you for coming in and hanging out while I did a little bit of GM prep, and my roommate did some laundry. It's all really part of the experience at this point. I will be back tomorrow to run what we just prepped. So, you will get to see these conversations that I just said I'm going to have to improv because they're hard to script ahead of time. You'll get to experience all of that live if you show up here in about 24 hours. 23 hours and 24 minutes, actually. So, come check that out. I don't know if I'm playing a game tomorrow. I don't know what's going on after Pathfinder, so. Yeah? You gonna soften up that tile? That tile gonna be your bed? You think you can dig a soft hole in the linoleum? Anyway, I hope you all have a lovely weekend. Think about stopping by tomorrow. Think about going and following Lunchbox. And until I see you again, hope you have a wonderful night. Or whatever. Goodbye! Yeah, screw it. I see someone doing some map making. We're gonna go raid them. Their name is Vicious Camaraderie. I see map making, I click. So we're gonna raid them.